I think the only problem I've had with Pipewire is a problem of my own doing. So I use both Xorg and Wayland. Don't do this. Bad idea. So when you jump back and forth between Xorg and Wayland, some things like Pipewire and Pipewire video specifically are not very happy about this happening. So every time I swap over to Wayland, I actually have a launch script for Sway at this point, which will kill the XDG portal, restart Pipewire, just to make sure that it doesn't think the Xorg is still running and just not know what to do. I don't know why it happens. All I know is that killing it and restarting it fixes it, and that's fine. That's all that needs to happen. But like, for a normal setup where you're not doing this, it's great.
I wanted to try Wayland, but when I started looking for guides, I stumbled upon an article on Arch Linux Wiki, and there's like a whole article called Wayland Showstoppers or something like that.
Yup.
So I clicked that and I read that, oh, this is missing, this is broken, this is, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna have that.
This is my favorite one that I like to bring up to everyone. Do you use hotkeys in OBS? To like change?
Sometimes I do.
You don't on Wayland. They don't work. You can't use them.
Also, I use a program to show my mouse clicks and what I'm typing, because when I'm doing tutorials, it's nice if people can rewind and look. What was that shortcut?
Yeah. There is a program to do this on WL roots based compositors, not on anything else. And the mouse click, I don't think exists. Yeah.
Because Wayland has proper security, so you can't have just a keylogger.
You can't
working.
Well, you can have a keylogger, but
if you have to give it permissions,
do it you have to run it as root, which is not a good idea.
So it's harder to snoop on someone's keystrokes and stuff, but it's also harder to have a tool to show your mouse clicks and keystrokes. There's I've seen a video there's one program that does this on Wayland, and it's not developed anymore. It's quite limited. I don't know. Have you had any experiences recording videos on Wayland, screencasting and OBS? Does it work at all?
Yes. I've done a couple of videos. Usually when I'm talking about Wayland, I record it on Wayland just for the memes. Wayland is fine if you don't make videos. It's serviceable, we'll say. So here's the thing, right? Your Wayland experience depends on what your compositor is based on. So if it's KDE or GNOME, you're going to have a very different experience from anything based on WL roots. WL roots is what the general window managers are based on, like Sway and Wayfire and things like that. Where was I going with this? What was I answering? Something about making videos?
How's the experience of screencasting on recording videos on Wayland?
Right, that's what, okay. So on GNOME, you can capture windows, right? You can capture, you want to capture your browser, or you want to capture, your Carla window or whatever. You can do that. You can't do that on anything else, but you can capture your screen, which is fine. So you can make it work. For some reason in WL Roots and KDE, there isn't a way for the XDG portal to track the location of the window, so you just can't do that. Here's the big problem though, because of this weird security model. Every time you open up OBS, if you have, let's say you have 2 screen captures, you have to reassign the screen captures every time you open it because it can't remember it.
Oh no!
Which is fine if you capture 1 screen, but if you capture 2 screens, depending on which compositor you're on, because you can the the way the portal works is different on GNOME, KDE, and then WL Reaching, just configure it however you want. It may not tell you what source you're actually configuring, so you have to remember which order they load in, but they might not load in the same order, so you might actually set things, and then it actually sets them in the wrong order if you go back and fix them.
So it's a bit of trial and error too, like every time you just start OBS.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's not. I'm gonna stay away for now, because what I need for my work is to capture a screen, but also capture individual windows.
No,
it's like
not happening.
I use KDE, and I have multiple virtual desktops, and I have so that full screen applications cannot disable compositing, and that's an important thing for me, because if you have compositing on, you can have different application windows on a virtual desktop that you don't see on any screen, but they are still rendered, and you can capture them into OBS.
Oh,
which is really cool, because I made a special overlay in Godot that monitors programs like Ardor, Zrhythm, Bespokes, and stuff for audio production, and it checks if they crash, and it shows an animation of an explosion and a sound effect, and it like shows the logo of the program like falling apart and the confetti.
Sure.
And yeah, because why not? Because this is what I do, because otherwise things are boring. And so I have this on a black background somewhere stashed on a virtual desktop, and I capture this window into OBS, and I do a Luma key, so I cut off the blackness and composite it. But when something like disables compositing, because it's a full screen application, it tries to save performance, then these windows cannot be rendered into an invisible desktop, and all this stuff doesn't work.
That's really cool. I never even thought of that being a thing.